In this video what I'm going to be doing is modifying my Dreamcast, and this is it here. This is my black Japanese limited edition D-Direct console, and the Dreamcast is probably one of my favourite consoles of all time, and this is definitely one of the favourite items in my collection. I've done a few mods to this already, and I'll get to that a little later in the video, but today I'm going to be doing two extra things to it. One of them being install this thing here. So this is a GDEmu, it will focus, v5.15b, and what this is basically a replacement for the console's optical drive. So this comes out and this goes in. It should just be plug and play, and what that allows you to do is play your games from SD card. This here. So that's really good, because anyone that's ever owned a Dreamcast will know that the GD-ROM drives in these can be really temperamental, and definitely nowadays most of them are on their way out, so it's always a bit of a gamble whether or not a game's going to play. Some games play, some don't, and there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. It just seems random. So it's great that you can get one of these devices here and basically just bypass the old GD-ROM altogether. The other thing I'm going to do is install this thing here. So this is the Pico Dreamcast v1.1. This is basically just a miniaturized version of the internal power supply unit, except it runs off 12 volts instead of the mains voltage. It's not really a needed modification, it's just kind of cool, and I thought I'd do it, so that's going in as well. But both of these items should be more or less just plug and play. I've done videos on taking the Dreamcast apart in the past, so if you want to see those I'll leave a link in the description. But yeah, this Dreamcast has had a couple of mods done to it already. Well, the first one, it's not really to the console itself, it's the VMU. I did a backlight screen mod on that. I did that a few years ago, so that's in there. I've had to switch the power supply unit out of this one because it came, when I originally got it, it came with a Japanese power supply unit, which is not compatible with the UK power socket, so that got switched out. And the other thing I did was, I did it years ago, I put a new BIOS chip in this, so it now runs off the, I'll quickly show you, it runs off the development kit BIOS. As you can see by the different intro there. First thing you're going to do is just take the top off the Dreamcast. It's held in with 4 screws, which I've already removed. That just pops off like that. Put that over there. And this is what's coming out, this unit here. Zoom in a bit. There we go. So this bit right here is going to be coming out. This is again held in with like 3 screws. The Dreamcast is so easy to work on. Probably should unplug the power first. But yeah, that will just pop straight out now that I've removed those screws, like so. Zoom out again. There we go. So yeah, this is getting replaced with this. These have been around for a couple of years now. You can get them on eBay. I think this is a clone of the original one, and this I think cost about £35. I don't know what that is in dollars, probably around $50, which is really good, a really reasonable price. So that's just going to plug straight on there. What I'll do though is I'll remove the power supply because that's getting replaced as well. And again, that's super easy to work on. These just clip out of place. There we go. So that's the power supply that we're replacing, and that is getting replaced with this tiny wee thing here. A bit of a size difference. No idea what this is. I'm pretty sure it was some sort of failed mod that I did a few years ago. Looks like I've tried to put some sort of rechargeable battery unit in there instead of the button cell that usually lives there, and that's just to keep the internal clock and saves, or the date and everything saved on the console, but that'll get replaced and modified with a proper button cell holder in future. So I've got that all seated in place now, and I've just put the single screw back in that holds it in place. And like the GDEmu emulator, I got this off eBay. This cost about, again, £20–25. There we go, that should be nice and secure there. But yeah, it's some size difference from the original. So next thing I'll do is I will plug this in, and that should just slot straight in here. In fact, I think there's some standoffs as well that I need to attach. So it comes with these little plastic standoffs to support it. I'll pop them in. So they go in like that. Let's plug this in. Just being very careful not to damage anything. I removed the one that was closest to the connector there. It was just kind of making the board sit at a funny angle. But that should be it. Simple as that. Zoom in and show you. There we go, that just sits in place of the old GDEmu drive. Again, a bit of a size difference there. Put that in. So I'll put the SD card in. I've already loaded up some software onto that card. You need to use your PC to do that. There's a program you can use, and it converts the ISOs, or I can't remember the other name for the format that the Dreamcast uses, but it converts them and puts everything you need onto the memory card there. So now all I'll do is I'll put it back together again. We can test it out. Change the aspect ratio. There we go. And it should put up into a new menu with a list of games that I can play that are on the SD card. I've heard that it should improve load times as well, so I'll change the aspect ratio again, so my TV doesn't want to stick to the normal format. Yep, so there we go. I'll zoom in a bit here, give you a better look at it. So there I can choose between any of the games that I put on the disc, or the SD card. Let's see, we've also got a menu you can go into, and that has things like region free, force VGA, in-game reset, boot intro, SEGA license, all that sort of thing. System information, firmware information, all that kind of stuff, and the video cable you're using. So that's pretty cool. Let's try a game here. Daytona USA, the Dreamcast should reboot. I will adjust the aspect ratio again. Don't know why the TV doesn't just keep it. Let's see. There we go. Perfect. So it seems to be working fine. You can see Daytona USA is loaded. Oh look, the TV's gone back to the wrong ratio again. There we go. Perfect. I'll quickly start this up. Yep, seems to be working fine. Let's try another game. I've tested all the games, they all seem to work. This is a bit of Canon Spike I'm playing now. The Dreamcast is a lot quieter, obviously, because that GDEmu isn't constantly searching for data off the disc. So I suppose you do lose a bit of nostalgia with the classic Dreamcast sound, where it's constantly making that screechy noise looking for game disc data, but yeah, the trade-off I think is well worth it. You can always put these back in again if you want. It's a dead simple mod. So that's what came out of the system. It's like pretty much half the weight of the console right there in these two components. It's not too expensive. I mean, I got the GDEmu emulator, I think it was about £35, and the power supply unit I've seen them for about 20. And again, you don't even need to do that if you don't want to. But very happy with that. I'm going to put all my games onto the SD card and just play it from that from now on, I think. I don't think I'll sell off my games, I think I'll still keep a hold of them. But yeah, definitely recommend having a go of doing this mod yourself. It's so simple. With the Dreamcast, it's dead easy to take apart. There's 4 screws holding the main console together, and then there's maybe like 3 screws on each of the components that I removed, and they just plug and play with the replacement part. So yeah, there we go. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again soon.